The film crew will be here for a couple of more days, putting the final touches on Desiree's story, and the episode will be seen probably in late October or early November. It's a priceless experience for these local kids acting in a television drama, and it's not just a make-believe story. It really happened.
You look silly. You get paid? No.
And cut it. Okay, let's break for lunch. Okay, guys?
I also talked to Desiree Troy's father this morning. Daniel says she's doing very well. She's gone back to school, matter of fact. She didn't feel too well yesterday, but she's doing fine today, and it's going to take a little time, I think, to get adjusted to all of this.
That's quite a story.
Oh, it is.
Just to re-emphasize that Desiree will not appear in the story.
She will not appear. These are all actors, local actors, the kids, and reenactment. Don't they do a heck of a job, too? I mean, but you will see Desiree at the end of the episode. She will talk about how she's doing now, and as I told you, she's doing very well.
It's a terrific story. And the kids even get a lunch break. It's terrific.
Yeah, and a happy ending. You're covering a story that will also be on a CBS show.
Very soon, yes. In poll after poll, it seems, Americans and Hoosiers point to drugs as their #1 concern. But is anything being done to clean up our streets? Thursday night at 8 o'clock, CBS News will present 48 Hours, Return to Crack Street. 3 years ago, CBS correspondents took to the streets of America to report on a new derivative of cocaine known as crack. This week, they go back. It's a scene played out hundreds of times across America every day. Police making a drug bust. There are other more poignant scenes, babies born to mothers on crack. The infants come into the world underweight with a craving for drugs. And then there's the growing violence tied to drug dealing. CBS medical correspondent Dr. Bob Arnott spent time with paramedics who respond to drug-related shootings like this one. Earlier this afternoon from New York, Dr. Bob told me Crack Street has become even more dangerous since CBS's first visit.
Now as you go back, it's like visiting Vietnam at the end of the war, where there's gunfire almost anywhere you can hear it. There are ambulances rushing to the latest murder or overdose, and where you see almost every child in one way or another involved in crack, whether as a lookout, as a drug salesman, as a hired hitman. And you really say, here's a war, and here's a war that we have lost.
Bob, from your perspective, what is the biggest hurdle facing police as they battle the so-called war on drugs?
Well, I was out on the street in Philadelphia on Monday morning, and I asked the captain in charge of the worst drug district there, and he says, listen, you know, it's as if you went into Vietnam with half a dozen policemen trying to win a war against millions of soldiers.
Arnott says drug dealers are ripping apart the very structure of America.
I always thought when I was a youngster that we had to fear the Russians coming and taking over the United States. Yet you see what the drug lords have done is far worse than any foreign power could ever have hoped to inflict on this country.
Again, you can see Return to Crack Street, a 3-hour special report, Thursday night at 8 o'clock, right here on Channel 8.
It certainly is a war on drugs. Well, coming up, let's check in with Mike Ahern for a look at what's ahead. News 8 at 6 o'clock. Mike.
Okay, Patty, thanks very much. Well, as you know, President Bush went on television today with an unusual appeal to the nation's school children on the subject of drugs. We'll take a look at 6 o'clock at how a speech played at a place where the school children have more than a passing familiarity with the subject, namely an Indianapolis juvenile detention home. Also at 6 o'clock, the battle over an infectious waste incinerator is heating up again. It's being forced out of one neighborhood. Operators now have their eyes on another. We'll look at its prospects for moving now. And in Cave City, Kentucky, there is a standoff at this hour between police and a 35-year-old convicted child molester who is holding an 11-year-old hostage from Indiana. The hostage is Jeremy Angus of Madison, Indiana. He was abducted on Sunday. Jim Shella will bring us developments at 6 o'clock. The latest information we have from down there is that the suspect has now fired 2 more shots, not at the child or at police, but simply 2 shots to remind police that he is armed. So we'll have the latest for you coming up at 6 o'clock.
Okay, Mike, we'll be here for that. Well, as you've heard, the drugs are once again in the news today. And here in Indiana, statistics show that 1 in every 12 central Indiana residents needs treatment for chemical dependencies.
Well, now the United Way is gearing up for a special campaign that will help fight the problem right here in central Indiana. News 8's Ruthanne Gordon joins us now with more on the story. Ruthanne, welcome.
Thank you, Ken. Thank you, Patty. $5 million. That's what the United Way wants to raise exclusively for alcohol and drug abuse programs. The campaign today was kicked off in grand style with games of speed, skill, and chance. Sack races and a water balloon toss provided a festive mood. This year, the United Way goal is nearly $26 million. This will provide much-needed funding for the nearly 67 agencies United Way serves. Today's kickoff was exciting, but there's a serious side to this fundraising drive. A community survey and some alarming statistics provided the push to add an additional fundraising drive. United Way researchers estimate 125,000 central Indiana residents have been identified as alcohol abusers. 30,000 are drug abusers. This is why a special 3-year effort is being launched to raise $5 million for drug and alcohol abuse programs.
We were not going to get a grip on the solution if we just nickel and dimed it. We really had to look at it as you would perhaps a capital fund campaign. And I think the public is aware of what has happened in other cities, and I think we have a chance in this city to make a real impact on the problem.
Currently, the state spends $40 million on the drug problem.
There's never enough money to fight this war, and that's why a lot of the debate over the last few days has been, is the national strategy spending enough money? Perhaps that misses the mark. The real issue here is, are we giving it the right priority? Yes, we're now giving it the priority that we need to give it.
Modest says the $5 million will be a shot in the arm that's needed to combat the problem. The Hoosier Alliance Against Drugs has been discussing coordinating fundraising efforts with the United Way. Ken, Patty?
Ruthanne, I saw you out there involved with water balloons. It's important we all get involved in this fight.
It's a very serious problem, and they have decided to add on the $5 million. The $5 million will be above the $26 million that's raised for the United Way agencies.
So they've got to raise the money for this year, and then anything above that will go to the drug program.
Right.
Thanks, Ruthanne.
Good thing you have a wash and dry dress.
That's right.
Coming up next on News 8, there's another big announcement from Great Britain's royal family, and we'll tell you what you can expect.
And let's see, 1, 2, 3, only 104 shopping days left until Christmas, but not that long until the big event downtown. Isn't that right, Athel?
That is right. A little hard to think about Christmas on a day like today, but November 24th, the Soldiers and Sailors Monument will come alive with thousands of bright lights, the likes of which we have not seen since November of 1985. I'm Athel Micka, and I'll have that story coming up.
Turn old lamps into loot. Sell that double-breasted suit. If it moves, making moolah you can use. Turn your car to legal tender. Sell a hubcap, sell a fender. Place a classified ad in the Star and News. Turn that Bassett into bucks. There's even cash in hockey bucks. Turn your dwelling into dollars you can't lose. Turn your pony into silver. Turn your gizmo into gold. No one brings you buyers like the Star and News.
You can't see them, but they're all around you, and there is no place to hide. But you can protect your family from up to 95% of these invisible threats, like bacteria, pollen, dust mites, and smoke particles. Get a Honeywell electronic air cleaner, because what you can't see can hurt you.
Call Dave's Heating and Cooling, your perfect climate dealer, at 784-3444.
Always, we're supposed to clean up our room. Always. Uh-oh, Mom's gonna be home soon.
Quick, name the place you can always find neat-looking Rob Roy separates. Walmart. For a low price, you can pick up the top drawer quality of Rob Roy just in time for fall. Walmart, always the low price on the brands you trust. Always.
The Dodge factory authorized clearance is on, and we're blowing out our inventory with double dollar deals. Choose sporty Dodge Shadow. We've doubled the cash back, now giving you $1,500. Or get $1,500 double cash on economical Dodge Omnis too. And millions of dollars in factory to dealer incentives could save you even more on Daytonas and most pickups.
See one of the 34 Central Indiana Dodge dealers.
Well, it's been 4 years since we've enjoyed the lights of the world's largest Christmas tree on Monument Circle in downtown Indianapolis. But now Athel Micka is live downtown to tell us that the lights will twinkle once again. Athel.
Yes, they will, Patty. As you know, the Soldiers and Sailors Monument is the base for that tree. But the state-owned structure has been going through a facelift since January of 1986, putting it out of commission for the traditional holiday activities. Well, now, after $11 million and a year's delay in completing the project, the monument will once again shine brightly this Christmas. It was 1962 when the first of 4,638 lights was strung on the 52 cables that encircled the monument, forming a Christmas tree nearly 250 feet in the air. But the lights went out when construction went up in January 1986 to repair the crumbling, perilous tourist attraction. Now the tradition is returning.
We're going to turn the lights on November 24th, 1989 at 6 o'clock in the evening.
Throngs of people ushered in the season's tradition, and this year, downtown businesses are hoping to capture the public's attention throughout the season.
Expand that downtown visitation, downtown doing business, downtown sightseeing beyond that day after Thanksgiving throughout the whole holiday season.
However, the return of the tree doesn't signal the end of the restoration project.
There'll still be work being done on the inside of the monument, and that work will go on into the new year.
What type of work is that?
A lot of electrical, mechanical, heating, air conditioning, providing handicapped access.
And there is still money to be raised to pay for the project, about $700,000. Innovative fundraising techniques may make up the difference.
If you would like to leave your mark on the monument, you can do so for the fee of $1,000.
We're selling steps inside the monument. There's 324 steps from the base to the top of the shaft.
Project planners are hopeful people are looking forward to the return of the monument and the Christmas tree tradition.
Little audio problem there, I believe, but if you read lips, I'm sure Athel said the monument will be ready soon for those lights. Thank you, Athel.
I think she said we're all looking forward to Christmas, too.
Something like that, yeah.
We all know that swimming is great exercise, but let's face it, folks, swimming has its drawbacks. For one thing, if you can't swim, well, there's no way you can join in the fun. And for women with hairdos to worry about, swimming can be a real hassle. But there may be a solution. Debbie Knox joins us now with tonight's health scene report.
That's right. This one's for both of you, but especially you, Patty, because I know how much you like to exercise.
Oh, and keep my hairdo, too.
Yes,
Thank
exactly.
You,
well, it's called a wet vest, and it's great for back problems and relaxation as well.
This may look ridiculous, but a number of serious athletes are training with this lightweight wet vest. Unlike ski vests or life preservers, the wet vest fits snugly and keeps the user upright in the water so they can run or exercise without touching bottom. Athletes like 400-meter relay gold medalist Willie Smith and marathon runner Joan Benoit Samuelson use the wet vest. For Samuelson, it came in handy after she became pregnant and had injured herself.
I found myself in the pool every day, just as I had been on the roads every day. And the wet vest enabled me to keep the same fitness level I'd maintained prior to the injury.
Beyond the athletes, it may help the average person in a number of ways. Since the buoyancy of water helps joints, people with arthritis can use it. And people with low back pain and even stress can get a good workout without strain. The wet vest was invented by Vietnam War veteran Glenn McWaters, who was wounded in Vietnam. He says there is virtually no risk of injury to those who use it. You can get a complete cardiovascular workout in 30 minutes. It takes about 45 minutes with running. And for women, well, they don't have to get their hair wet.
That's a big deal for a lot of women, including people like us. By the way, if you want to get a wet vest, you have to order it. It's not cheap. It ranges from about $110 to $120. And let's put the number on the screen if you're really interested in ordering one of these things. It's 1-800-443-2627. A number of athletes do use them.
Terrific.
Okay.
Thank you, Debbie.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Interesting guy named McWaters invented it, too.
That's right.
That's
yeah,
great.
that's right.
Well, this serious note on the health scene tonight, the State Board of Health has declared a state of emergency at the high school, the middle school in LaPorte County because of the measles epidemic that has swept across northern Indiana. The health board is requiring all students at those two schools to be vaccinated, similar to these measles shots administered to Notre Dame students late last week. To return to school, students must be able to prove that they've been immunized against measles sometime after 1980. Ken.
Patty, yet another royal blessed event is pending. Sarah Ferguson and Prince Andrew have announced they are expecting their second child. The Duchess of York, better known to all of us as Fergie, is already a mom. Her first child's name is Beatrice. Both the Prince and Fergie are pleased by the prospect of another child, and reports say the Queen is terribly excited as well.
Oh, terribly,
Well, still to come, it was an unusual phenomenon, a September tornado. Tom Magnuson is going to take a look back 1 year ago today.
And Ray Rice takes Indiana's own to new heights.
I'm Ray Rice with a couple of Indiana's own. Actually, I'm not with them. They're way up there. And we'll have that story for you coming up on News 8.
If you're really into Nintendo, you should know that anything you could ever want is at Target's World of Nintendo.
It looked like another boring month. He was going to rearrange his sock drawer. She thought they'd fix the cat. Then they discovered Southwest Airlines fun fares. Soon they were jetting away from just $19 to all sorts of exciting cities, seeing things their mothers had warned them about, eating food they couldn't pronounce, laughing out loud for no apparent reason. Southwest Airlines fun fares. If you've got $19, they're available now. If not, never mind.
And we'll have fun, 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 flying Southwest on a fun fair today.
Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
It's hard to face the day, but he knows your favorite way. Folgers starting to brew, the aroma's calling you. The best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup.
Mornings are brighter with mountain-grown Folgers decaffeinated. Mountain-grown beans have a more enticing aroma and richer flavor.
That rich aromatic brew that's decaffeinated too.
You're finally waking up.
And it's decaffeinated?
The best part of waking up, your wife, is Folgers in your cup.
Stan Wood joins us now with a weather forecast and his roving thermometer.
Oh, and much cooler, nicer temperatures, thank you.
Nice day. A lot of people out riding bikes, walking the dog, just to get outdoors. Let's go traveling with the roving thermometer and sample a little of this really nice weather. Over at Brownsburg, it's 75 degrees, and at St. Malachi's Church there, they're going to be having their country fair and hog roast coming up this Friday and Saturday, right there in downtown Brownsburg, where it's 6 bits right now. And that's pretty nice weather. To give you a little sample of what's going to be taking place tonight, weather-wise, the clouds are going to get their act together. They'll be thickening and lowering tonight. There might be a little light rain by sunrise. Our overnight low, about 60 degrees. And then for tomorrow, midweek, chance of light rain. The high temperature about 72. Going to be kind of a gloomy day tomorrow, one of those dreary deals.
A lowery day.
A lowering day, certainly.
Yes, a little lower temperature.
You know, you don't normally think of tornadoes in Indiana this time of year, but meteorologist Tom Magnuson remembers well what happened 1 year ago today.
September 12th, 1988. A day I'll not forget, nor will many other Marion County residents.
A year ago today, I saw my first tornado, and it was awesome. Oh, I've seen them in photographs and on videotape before, but never in a personally threatening way. A 150-foot wide twister passed too close for comfort just southeast of here, the intersection of 38th Street and Lafayette Road.
The tornado started its damage path on Rockville Road in western Indianapolis and hopscotched through Speedway, north-central Indianapolis, and on northeast to the Castleton area. Damage was spotty but quite heavy where the tornado bounced down hard. September tornadoes are uncommon here, but on that day the remnants of Hurricane Florence sent a moist, unsteady, and twisting air mass through central Indiana. The September 12th tornado was not the only surprise of late 1988. Severe thunderstorm outbreaks raked central Indiana in October and November as well. Truly unusual. A lesson we can learn from last year then? Don't take down your severe weather guard just yet.
Incidentally, Patty, our Tom Magnuson received a written commendation from the National Weather Service here in Indianapolis because he supplied them with some very critical and timely weather information during that episode.
I can't believe it was a year ago. Doesn't seem possible. Thank you so much, Stan. We'll
see you tomorrow.
Why not, Ken?
Well, Ray, some people like to work outside, especially when the weather's like it is today. And you have a story tonight about some guys who are definitely the outdoors types.
Yeah, actually, you might say they're the out-of-windows type, because when I met them, they're outside the windows of the 19th floor of a downtown office building.
That's Terry Jones, 25, and that's his 24-year-old partner, Rick Leiden.
They've been hanging around together for the past 5 years. But let's back up a bit and start at the top. They work for the Hoosier State Window Cleaning Company, and instead of a scaffolding, they use what's called a genie chair and ropes that look very thin.
You have to trust your equipment. If you don't trust your equipment, you won't do the job. And that's about what it boils down to. I feel more safer up there than I do crossing the street to get a pop.
Easy for him to say, but it's certainly not easy to do.
It takes a special talent to be able to hold on with your hands, your feet, your knees, your elbows, everything.
Do you ever get frightened at all?
Oh, sure. Every now and again, if your rope or knot will tighten up on you or something, let you slip about 6 inches and it feels like 6 feet, and yeah, it will scare you. Every now and again, you do get them scares.
It also frightens some on the inside as these guys drop into view.
Never do I want their job.
It's pretty scary. I don't think I'd want to be out there, not for anything. Sometimes it's distracting, some of them are cute.
Which is what Terry's wife said when she first saw him. In fact,
that's how I met her, cleaning windows. She was on the inside and I was on the outside. It's kind of like we hit it off, you know, and I've been with her ever since. That's how I met my wife.
both have tried other work, but always came back to the adventure and the view. And every day they dance across the glass of some high-rise building in what might be called a window ballet. It's kind of graceful, isn't it? It was nice when we met them, but it can't get windy around those buildings. Sometimes they can get blown out about 15 feet or even around the corner of a building, which is one of the reasons they work in teams.
I have to ask this question, and maybe they didn't allude to it, but how much money do these guys make?
Not enough. I really don't know. But it's not as much as you think. And I wouldn't do it for, you know, $1 million?
No.
Maybe $1 million.
Maybe.
I might
for
try
one
for
day.
$1 million. Yeah.
Thanks, Ray. Wonderful.
Okay.
Well, coming up, we may just have a way to use that old cardboard box the refrigerator came in.
But first, let's take a look at what's ahead tonight on Channel 8.
So I said to my mom,
Aye, why don't the four of us head for Long John Silver's?
she said, why? So I said,
Because of their 20th anniversary family-style meal deal. 4 fish fillets, 4 chicken plates with fixins for the whole family, plus a pitcher of soft drinks for 4, just $9.99.
and we get to keep the picture.
As a reminder of our visit.
Long John's 20th anniversary. It's a big deal for us.
And for us, too. Aye!
Tom Raper says thank you for making this our best year ever. Thousands of people are finding out it's just not that far to Richmond, Indiana. The drive to Tom Raper's 60-acre complex is only a few minutes more than the trip to see a much smaller dealer. But look what you get. The biggest selection, the best brand names, Tom's gigantic indoor showroom and 60-acre complex bursting with 1989 units at super clearance sale prices. Remember, nobody beats Tom Raper's bottom line deal. I-70 exit 149A, Richmond, Indiana.
Some coffee companies imply that the darker a coffee appears, the better it is. Not true. Sanko ground coffee thinks that the way it's made is more important than how it looks. We're the only ones who use pure water and effervescence to decaffeinate naturally, removing virtually none of the coffee flavor from the bean. Wonderful. With or without these. Sanko ground decaffeinated coffee. You can't beat the original.
It's fall, but it's hard to tell in Hollywood.
Every day is Halloween.
It still stays light at night.
But you know it's fall in Hollywood when the stars from last season go back to work. In this week's issue of TV Guide, you can read about what to expect from your favorite shows. Shows like Roseanne, Designing Women, and L.A. Law. So pick up the new issue of TV Guide. You won't believe what's going to happen behind these doors this fall.
Well, you know, we've had enough rain recently. We could do this on just about any corner. You take you now to Pekin, Illinois for the highlight of the annual Marigold Festival. This is not the America's Cup, no, this is the Great Cardboard Boat Regatta. The objective here is to circle the lakefront in a homemade cardboard boat. Fast time counts with the judges, but so does boat style and creativity, as you can see there. One thing's for sure, you won't win if you don't stay afloat. Sort of a soggy story, I guess.
Yes, I think they stay afloat with those plastic bags
Looks
they
like
use to
that,
water float the boats. Well, that's our report for now. Time for us to sail away for the day. It's time to check in with our neighbors once again. Mike and Debbie with the 6 o'clock news.
Or soapbox derby, you got a cardboard box derby. It's the same thing, I guess.
Thanks, Penny.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Coming up on News 8 at 6 o'clock, Debbie and I will have these stories for you. We'll have the latest on that hostage standoff in Kentucky, a convicted child molester holding an Indiana boy in a Cave City motel.
I'm Mark Boydman. Coming up, how the president's speech played at a juvenile detention facility.
Also tonight, the battle continues over where to burn this infectious waste. We'll tell you what was decided today.
I'm Stan the Weatherman. More rain on the way? You betcha. We'll size it up in my forecast coming up next.
Those stories and more next on News 8 at 6 o'clock.
At Ed Leston's Marathon Station, full service means a lot more than servicing your car. It means going out of your way to help someone when they need a hand. Not everyone does that. Today, many oil companies have foreign ownership, but Marathon is 100% American-owned and operated. As Ed Leston would tell you, full service should also mean taking the time to show you care. Marathon, an American company serving America.
Now McDonald's is cooking up hot deals for morning people and night people.
Hey, all you early birds. Now you can swing by McDonald's and get any breakfast sandwich with egg for just 99 cents. How does that grab you?
Dig this, night owls. Cruise into McDonald's after 4 p.m. and pick up a quarter pounder with cheese or filet of fish sandwich for only 99 cents. Gotta check that out.
Breakfast sandwiches, 99 cents.
2 great dinner sandwiches, just 99 cents.
Get 99-cent deals at McDonald's.
Now at your Jeep and Eagle dealer, it's Double Cashback Days, featuring double cash back. Direct from Chrysler on new Eagle Premiers, save $2,000. Double cash back on Eagle Summits, save $1,000. And $1,000 back plus factory to dealer incentives on Jeep Cherokees. For big savings, see your Jeep and Eagle dealer before double cash back splits.
Expect the best from your Central Indiana Jeep Eagle dealers.
Flanner and Buchanan Mortuaries cares about you and your family. Their licensed funeral directors are available to meet with you, in your home if you wish, to discuss their Serenity pre-planning program. They will carefully explain your options and the cost involved, and they'll give you time to make your own decisions. They'll also set up easy payments so it won't be difficult financially for you or your children.
Call Flanner and Buchanan Mortuaries at 925-9871 for your Serenity planning kit.
You're watching Indiana's Own, Wish TV, Channel 8. Now, Mike Ahern, Debbie Knox, Fred Khalil, and Stan Wood. Live from Wish TV, this is Indiana's Own, News 8 at 6 o'clock.
Good evening. It is 6 o'clock, and we begin with the latest on a tense hostage drama in Kentucky. This began in Madison, Indiana. It is now being played out at a motel in Cave City, Kentucky at this moment. At the center of it all is an 11-year-old boy. Jim Shella now is in our newsroom with the latest on the fate of young Jeremy Angus. Jim?
Mike, Jeremy Angus went to a Madison skating rink with 2 friends on Sunday. A 35-year-old man took the other 2 boys home and then allegedly kidnapped Jeremy. About 30 law enforcement officers surrounded the Quality Inn in Cave City, Kentucky this afternoon in the effort to free Jeremy Angus. Negotiations began at about 1 this morning with Eddie Ray Melton, an armed convicted child molester who apparently has not harmed the young boy. Meantime, at Jeremy's school in Madison, administrators did what they could to calm his classmates.
Right now, we need to think about Jeremy, think about his safety, and pray that everything will be okay.
Relatives of Melton, including his mother and a twin sister, arrived from Indiana to assist in negotiations, and FBI agents say they are optimistic that the hostage won't be harmed. Warrants have been issued charging Melton with kidnapping and confinement.
What we need to do right now
is we need to forget about all the rumors